So friends, with this round of introduction, we want to surely but slowly dive into the project itself, which I try to do in the next minutes. Please keep in mind that the project itself is quite diverse, so I'll only touch upon the surface and actually make you wish to learn more about the different parts of the project, which you will be able to experience and learn about in the whole area throughout the 2 days. So, first of all, I want to say thanks to many people who made this project possible. So, after all, for sure, and we have representative here. Jens, where are you? I want to say thank you to the Hamburg Ministry of Economic Affairs, who majorly made it possible that via the program of the European Regional Development Fund to actually make this program happen. So I think this is a very strong political support by the city of Hamburg to the concept of Fab Cities overall, globally, but also to Fab City Hamburg to kick this off. And I'm really, really thankful and happy that we have this opportunity. So thank you very much to the ministry. Also, I want to say thank you to the Investitions- und Förderbank. I don't know if someone is around who actually, so this is really an administrative monster, not by the bank, but rather how we set it up, right? So there was lots of need to consultation, and they were always open and always helpful, and yeah, without their help, we also would not have been able to actually get this done. Then we have a core project team, which you can see here. The consortium lead was Helmut Schmidt University here in Hamburg. We have the Fab City Hamburg Association, which was majorly focusing on some software parts, but majorly doing the user research, doing the piloting groundwork here in Hamburg in the Fab Labs that are existing, helping us getting this done. We have HiVW as an innovation and community management partner, and also we have Dyn.org, a non-profit software company from the Netherlands who actually really pushed this technologically. So all the technological part in terms of software was majorly pushed and done by Dyn. And I would like to raise your hands, anyone who was directly involved in the project. How many are around? Well, it should be up to 50 people. Where are all the other guys? Okay, they should be around, sometimes they say. So thank you very much to the core project team, but we also had very strong cooperation partners. And I want to mention here, first of all, the Fab City Foundation, where also some people are around. Where's the foundation guys? Yeah, I think 6 or 7 people from the foundation flew over, and without their help, the global outreach and the global perspective into the project would not have happened. So thank you very much also to the foundation, and we really appreciate that you come over to Hamburg with actually almost the whole team, besides your boss. But thank you very much for coming over. Please reach out to those people to also just have the global perspective in mind. And then also we have some local partners that helped us from Germany, which is on the one hand Open Source Ecology Germany. I don't know if Martin is still around. Someone from OSEC already here? Not yet? Okay. Anyway, they helped us to reach out to really the open source hardware development community, and also be a very, very important bridge into this direction. And finally, Fab Access was also part of the project. Fab Access, I think they're very busy with their machines. Or Tasso, where are you? Fab Access is a very interesting project that helped us with IoT appliances to access to machines. So all those partners were involved, and I want to say thank you for all the partners that were part of it and helped to make this happen. Yeah, I think this is a round of applause worth, right? So thank you very much. Okay. What was the goal, the overall goal of the project, or rather the first step before? What was the problem, or is the problem that we're trying to address? And you've heard about this before, right? So the vision overall is to have a more circular economy that majorly sends around digital assets, that sends around data around the world, that enables truly global collaboration, but leaves the atoms and the physical infrastructure and the production of physical products and artifacts on the local level. And what we've been seeing is that there is this missing link, right? So we have the Fab Labs, we have Fab Cities that gather Fab Labs, we have people in those Fab Labs and have Fab Cities, but thus, to this moment, we have this missing link where all the cooperation part, so the whole product development that may take place in the physical, in the digital realm, there is a missing link. So the goal that we have was to really build this bridge, have a digital infrastructure which enables global collaboration, but still, and via global collaboration, also enables local production. So enable a database circular economy and have global collaboration and local production. That's actually what we aim for. We want to connect FAB cities, right? We want to connect FAB cities via this federated digital network, and we do this by building the digital infrastructure to run a FAB city and interact with other FAB cities. Now, this is a very broad goal, right? So we majorly defined 5 research and development areas we were focusing on. And a major part, of course, was the software development of the FAB city operating system, right? So lots of user research was done and put into the software development. The software development itself was a major part of it. And we majorly had 2 elements of the FAB city operating system, right? One is the installer, right? It's like packaging anything that we've developed and being able to decentralize and locally host it and install it by yourself, right? Then we have the FAB city operating system suite part, which can basically be referred to as a kind of a toolkit, right? So anything, and we've been experiencing this in FAB city, Hamburg, quite naturally, so kind of a really user need that we had was what kind of tools, what kind of features would you need if you set up a FAB city and want to run it, right? So it entails features like a content management system to build up very easily a website. It has a map application where you can very easily integrate and map all the locus actors that you have in your FAB city. It enables collaboration via communication with a matrix server, right? For example, there is an xCloud instance, so we also put existing open source solutions and kind of packed it to a whole package where you just need to install and can start off as a FAB city administry. And then the most critical part is then the core. That's what the name says, right? And this is basically the federal digital ecosystem, and you will learn about it in a few minutes, more detailed by the experts who actually build it. But we've also been realizing that there is also in the aspect of hardware development, right? So the makers that actually want to develop products, who want to build projects and want to make it happen, actually there is still a lack if you look at open source software that enables the hardware development, right? So there's a lot of open source software, as you know probably, also some software that is built for hardware development, but they're still in a nascent state, right? So we put a lot of effort into helping those open source software communities and platforms that are out there, adding some features to their existing ones, for example, automating the documentation of a hardware product, which is crucial for dissemination, right? But on the other hand, we also took one step behind and say, okay, how can we overall, not specifically add code to one specific feature or community, but also how can we actually support the overall communities. And this is, for example, one aspect why we actually also founded a new institution, which shall actually support hardware development via software. And also here, you'll learn about it more in detail tomorrow. And then, and this is what we all know, right? In the wider public, Fab Labs are still rather unknown, right? So we really said we want to put a lot of emphasis in outreach activities, both locally and globally, and also interdisciplinary research to actually spread the word, right? Enabling people, and this is what we've learned throughout these 1.5 years, where we've been hosting many, many public events, from the Maker Challenge as an idea competition towards global roundtables. What we usually learn is that when people realize how easy it is to become part of it and actually make something yourself, once this barrier is reached, you know, anything can happen. And this is really, really astonishing to see. What are major outcomes? I'm pretty sure I did not put anything on it here. Of course, there will be a full documentation of anything we've been doing and are still doing for 1 more month. Will be fully documented, open access and open source on the website, via the website. So of course, we have the Fab City operating system, right? This is a major core part. Also, I told you about Fab Access, this IoT system where you can very easily access machines if you've been trained on it or if you've booked it, right? You can actually experience the system over there in the microfactory area. And we've trying to enhance the status the project had before and was now brought really to another level. We've had discussions with local actors here in Hamburg from all different disciplines, so both the municipality, but also research and industry, to actually discuss what would be a theoretical and also political framework, how a Fab City could actually be real, right? How can you make it happen? So, and this will be put into a green paper, a kind of a policy paper, where we kind of structurally add up all the findings we had there. Also, you've probably heard about the circular design deep dives that have been hosted. Actually, one workshop is also this afternoon, and what we came up with were specifically on the context of Fab Cities, circular design principles, which we actually call Hamburg circular design principles. And then this is also a very interesting approach, because in these events we really had design community both locally and globally together to discuss in the context of Fab City what does circular design mean and how can you make it happen. Also, we've been discussing about a microfactory concept. Of course, you all know what a Fab Lab is, but usually the Fab Labs are not made for professional production, right? It's usually a place for learning, for workshops. It's a learn for prototyping, but usually the setting you have in a Fab Lab is not perfectly done for more professional production of small-scale series of products, right? So there is a gap we identified between the Fab Lab and local producing entities such as SMEs, where we say we want to think of a concept that enables SMEs for small-scale production with an open workspace that is more professionalized than the traditional Fab Lab, both in terms of technical capabilities, also in terms of a service that really professional users would actually do the production work. And actually you can see a pop-up version of this microfactory over here. Please go and see it. It's really great what they brought up. Also, we've had a series of build workshops, which we call the massive build workshops, so the goal was actually to enhance existing open source projects and documentations in Hamburg. So from January until March, actually more than 50 workshops will be held where the public is invited to build products, build open source hardware products, which range from a balance board towards a cargo bike. And actually also of those workshops we have in the expo areas one exposition of the products over there, so please come and see them. Then I was also mentioning the Open Toolchain Foundation, which I don't want to put into much context now because I leave it to the people who actually pushed it forward. But if you want to, please, later on, I think at 12 they show up, there is a booth. Help yourself and get informed about what the goal of this non-profit foundation actually is that was founded in the context. Also many small and rather, for a general public, rather probably very specific and not too important, but for some hardware developers, very important features were developed throughout the project. And I also invite you to join one of the sessions in the afternoon where some of the tools that were developed will be presented. We had the Maker Challenge, and actually all the exposition here on this side is products that actually emerge in the context of a Hamburg-wide public idea competition, right? So we really directed it to the broader public and asked them to invite products, invite them to participate and submit product ideas for physical products. And then we helped them in the course of 3 months to actually make them a prototype. And today you see from 100 ideas where we selected 20 that were part of the prototyping process we introduced, and actually have now the prototypes here. So mentors were helping them, but basically they were enabled to actually do the prototypes themselves. So that's very, very impressive. So please also, throughout the 2 days, come and see those inventors and what they came up with. As I mentioned, global outreach was also a very important part. We also had a bicycle tour throughout Europe and throughout, actually a large number of European Fab cities, where some of the people of the project actually took their bike and drove all the way to Barcelona from Hamburg, visiting stops on the way, other Fab cities, had a lot of interviews, user research, and this was also very beneficial to the project overall. Also, there is a book coming up on circular economy and how Fab cities actually enable circular economy. We hope it will be published in the mid-year. Finally, one other very interesting outcome is the Fab City Index. where we kind of tried to measure, how can you measure the impact of Dido, right? How can you measure the status of a fab city in terms of local production, but also local material circles? This will also be presented in the afternoon. Now some fun facts, some figures. So I just learned that more than 500,000 lines of code were actually put together in all the different software components, which I, as a non-IT expert, find quite impressive if you have in mind that it was only a time of a 20 months project, right? We have 95 overall new project ideas that really come from a broader public. Some of them, as I told you, will be represented today with physical prototypes. 15 existing hardware projects were enhanced in terms of a fully open source documentation, and the idea is actually to also integrate those parts into the digital ecosystem, into Fab City operating system later on, to have a kind of ground basis to start from, right? So it's all pilot cases for us where we tested features and where we have a base of projects that are being documented and are on the platform. 30 prototypes built, physical prototypes. As I told you, you will find them all over the place today. 2 people cycled more than 5,000 kilometers last year, which I find really, really impressive. So it was really a zero carbon, like wide kilometer roadshow. And finally, one really cool video. And I kind of put much emphasis on this as it was just finished yesterday, I learned, and it actually puts together all that we did and tries to make it very understandable to a broader audience. And actually, you would witness now the premiere of this video, and I would like to thank before that the core team that actually made this happen. There is Raphael, right? There is Ollie, there is the team from Volker 7, people from Dyn who actually made this happen in a very short period of time. And now I would like to invite you to start it.
Over the last decades, the global production system has become a linear trash machine. Products go in, trash comes out. It needs to change towards a data in, data out system, the so-called Dido model. This means a city's imports and exports would mostly be found in the form of data: information, knowledge, design, code. In recent years, the open hardware movement has captured the interest of millions of people. It challenges our manufacturing system by aiming to make technology more accessible, easier to improve, and cheaper to produce. The fab movement has developed rapidly, with more than 2,500 fab labs and a growing number of fab cities worldwide. How can this open culture bring about change towards a new, sustainable economy? Introducing the Fab City operating system, designed by the community of Fab City Hamburg in collaboration with international partners. This innovative software provides digital infrastructure for circular design and circular manufacturing in cities, promoting open hardware development and sustainable manufacturing.
Hi, I'm Jaromil. I'm directing the Dynorg Foundation. We are technical coordinators of the project, and we are very happy to cooperate with Fab City Hamburg. We are trying to power up this concept of a diffuse industry where designers can contribute to each other's works, just like developers do already on source code, but on open hardware. And to do this, we need to standardize the processes and protocols of communication, also the formats of designs.
The Interfacer project is at the forefront of utilizing open standards to create a decentralized information system. With a focus on the Dido model, Fab City OS aims to tackle the challenges facing open source hardware projects by mapping out the entire product lifecycle, from a globally available design to a physical manifestation produced close to the final customer. This enables features like recycling, repairing, and more, helping to reduce production costs and bureaucracy.
We try to put also this movement of designers, distributed design movement, in touch with people able to produce the designs. For example, if I'm very good with a 3D printer, a laser cutter, and perhaps a milling machine, then I can download the design of the interfacer platform from FabCity OS and realize it as a concrete object and even sell it over an e-commerce or over my own connections, over my shop.
This project operates within the legal framework of Digital Product Passport regulations led by the European Commission and aligns with the Digital Ecosystem Declaration established by the FabCity Foundation.
So the game changers in Interfacer are two. One is the economic model, which is an inclusive model that helps bottom-up initiatives to be born, thrive, and support people, participants within the fabric of a city as a production entity, a production unit. And we want to federate this economy of places, which leads to the second game changer. We have a federation model that leverages end-to-end cryptography, with the possibility for people to own their data, to control the technology they use, and to be the sole owners of their signature, of their identity into a system that is distributed.
The FabCity operating system presents a revolutionary economic model, supporting the sharing, tracking, and tracing of open hardware in a standardized form. This enhances collaboration and promotes fair agreements directly between users in a secure network. Globally connected productive communities are empowered to discover, remix, and improve designs and technologies like never before. This economic model, utilizing blockchain technology, facilitates fair revenue distribution based on contributions and agreements. The FabCity operating system transforms the traditional economic model, offering a decentralized and equitable solution.
What we want to do for places like Fab Cities where designers and producers interact is a system that takes into account their activity. Let's say there is a group of designers that worked for 10 years on a design of a new bike, unique. Let's say it goes with the wind, not even electric. After 10 years, someone finds this design and starts selling it. When this person produces this thing and this thing becomes famous in all Hamburg because people love to go on wind bikes across the streets of Hamburg, what happens is not just the person that had the idea to bring it to market will get the money. But through the digital product passport, we will be able to trace all the people that have contributed to this design. And in the meantime, we will also be able to split this reward among all people that have been active through the place.
FabCity OS is not just another platform. It aims to support the many existing communities along the value chain of distributed design and sustainable local manufacturing with a sovereign digital infrastructure, and ultimately transforms the linear waste machine into a sustainable circular economy. To learn more, please follow us online.